Dear comrades from the eastern end of the Mediterranean and from our party AKEL, we convey the warmest greetings to the International Conference of the Communist Party of the United States of America. We take this opportunity to express our appreciation and respect to all of you, communists of the United States of America, who in an extremely adverse environment represent the enduring spirit of equality, justice, and solidarity. Comrades, your conference is taking place at turbulent times. The exchange of experience amongst Communist and Workers' Party is invaluable, not to copy each other's policies, but to enrich our thinking and analysis. We are inspired by the actions of fraternal parties. We learn about the problems and struggles of the peoples of the world, and of course, we strengthen the international solidarity between us. This is precisely why we feel the need to take this opportunity to express AKEL's appreciation to the Communist Party of the United States for its consistent and stable commitment to supporting the struggle of the people of Cyprus for freedom and reunification. As many of you will know, our homeland, Cyprus, has been violently divided since 1974 due to Turkey's continued occupation of 37% of its territory. Our people, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, have been separated for decades due to the Turkish occupation and the forces of nationalism and chauvinism that contribute to its perpetuation. Indeed, the persistence of the Cyprus problem, as it has come to be known, is an example of the hypocrisy of Western imperialism. United Nations resolutions on the Cyprus problem have never been implemented, with the primary responsibility levied squarely on the shoulders of the occupying power Turkey, which, however, remains a valuable strategic partner of the United States and the European Union, a leading force in NATO, and a privileged buyer of American weapons. In other words, the same forces that are fueling the fire of war in Ukraine in the name of countering the Russian invasion have been turning a blind eye for 50 years now to the occupation and division of Cyprus, because in this case the aggressor is a NATO power. The struggle for the liberation and reunification of the island and our people is AKEL's primary strategic goal. To this end, we have channeled our unwavering dedication and efforts to resume the talks for the unification under the auspices of the United Nations that were interrupted in 2017, so that we can achieve a solution to the Cyprus problem. We consider a viable solution one that liberates Cyprus from Turkish troops, abolishes Turkey's guarantees and intervention rights, and allows the Republic of Cyprus to evolve into a federal state co-administered by the Greek Cypriot and the Turkish Cypriot community. In this context, a decisive element of our policy is the action against nationalism and the reapproachment between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. Just last month, the Pan-Cyprian Federation of Labour and the Turkish Cypriot unions, members of the World Federation of Trade Unions, once again celebrated May Day together in a mass event held in the UN control buffer zone that divides our island. Another top priority for us is the fight against the NATOization and militarization of our island, which has always had a significant geostrategic importance for the great powers of the world. Although Cyprus is an EU member state, it is not, until today, a member of either NATO or other NATO programs. To a significant extent, this is the result of the strong dedication and decisive efforts of AKEL and the popular movement of Cyprus. We refuse to allow our homeland, our island, to become a military base for the West to control the Middle East, nor an unsinkable aircraft carrier as the imperialists historically saw our island. During the last few years, in which the previous right-wing government, like the current one, have promoted a one-sided pro-Western policy, AKEL has strongly objected inside and outside the parliament the military cooperation with the neighboring state of Israel and the United States. Instead, we advocated the need for a principled foreign policy based on international law and the promotion of peace and solidarity among the struggling people of our region. At the same time, AKEL has stood decisively as the voice of Cypriot workers. In the last decade, Cyprus has been hit by the global economic crisis, while the policies of the right-wing government have aggravated social inequalities and corruption. Just to cite a recent example, AKEL has fought to achieve improvements to minimum wage policies, as well as to fully restore the cost of living adjustment, a measure established in collective agreements that protects wages from inflation, and to extend it to every employee in the country. The main battle of the next period, which we will fight both in the workplace and with pressure on the government through the parliament, is the expansion of collective labour agreements to the country's private sector. At the same time, for the last 2 months, in the free part of the island, we have been running a campaign for housing, with events, mobilizations, meetings with government officials, state agencies, social movements and NGOs. We have highlighted our proposed solution for the housing problem of young couples, students, vulnerable groups and borrowers who are crushed by the arbitrary policies of the banks. Comrades, as you know, AKEL is a respectable political force in our country. However, the 2021 parliamentary elections yielded an admittedly negative outcome for AKEL, dropping our share of the electoral vote to 22%. Of course, we remain the second largest political party on the island, and we have 15 out of 56 seats in the House of Representatives. Last February, in the presidential elections, AKEL supported an independent progressive candidate who gathered in the second round of the elections 48.5% against the current president. Although we did not succeed in electing our candidate, the result contains hopeful elements since the most progressive part of the country joined us, while the candidate we supported clearly prevailed among the youth. Now, an important electoral landmark before us are the two big battles that will be held in 2024. The elections for the local self-government and the elections for the 6 representatives of Cyprus in the European Parliament. Before us, we also have the holding next autumn of the Party Congress, which will discuss changes in the internal structure, operation and procedures of the party, as well as new forms of cooperation with forces from the wider progressive spectrum. We are optimistic that in 3 years from now, when we will celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Communist Party of Cyprus, AKEL, we will also be able to talk about the full recovery of our party and the Cypriot left as a whole. With these thoughts, comrades, we wish you every success for a productive conference, and we reaffirm our solidarity with the efforts of the Communist Party of the United States towards our shared ideals, our shared visions. Long live international solidarity.